Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and I had something completely different planned for tonight, and then I just thought I'd check in on some environmental headlines, and went to The Guardian, and it was just loaded with horror, really. So, the people in Ohio being told you're not forgotten. Well, yeah, they are, and now they're suspending, removing all the toxic waste. They've been shipping it to somewhere in Texas, Houston, and somewhere else, I think. And yeah, they were going to be injecting it into wells. I read. I mean, I'm not sure. None of this was. It was printed. It was in stories. But the EPA has halted it. And now right here, there's an averaging one chemical accident every 2 days. I told you the other night, these things go on all the time. They only make big headlines when it's a big event like this disaster in Ohio. And then Aaron Brockovich is telling people, be vigilant, hold your ground. These people don't have ground. They truly, they don't have ground. But the really interesting thing here is that all fish tested from Michigan rivers contain forever chemicals. And this is a study that was before this event. Michigan and Idaho, they border each other, but, that this was before this. And I did a video a while back that 50% of the waterways in America are too polluted to swim, fish, or drink out of. And right, forever chemicals in the fish. They're in everything. And the bottom line is, why are they there? Because no one will allow actual real solutions since November 93 that would have ended our use of all of these chemicals. That's right. And so what did I do today? Oh, that's right. Because O'Keefe, he has a new tip line, O'Keefe Tips at protonmail.com. So yeah, I included him with Project Veritas, more Project Veritas, their head legal counsel here, and of course Bobby Kennedy. Yeah, Bobby, because he cares so much about the kids, he cares about the environment until it comes down to actually doing something that would be on a massive scale and solve a gazillion problems. Then Bobby's nowhere to be found. So I tell O'Keefe, yeah, I'm not verifying what everyone expects. I can actually expose, um, you know, and these are solutions that will keep us, it should say us, from the tyrant that is coming based on we don't have environmental solutions, the tyranny that is coming. Americans have no idea. That's of course if you survive economic and collapse and potentially nuclear war. Um, Solutions that would have ended the use of chemicals that caused the toxic Ohio event, right? And solutions that give you the opportunity to prove you to live up to the credo of journalism without fear or favor to Bobby or Kennedy, as you recently called him. Bobby, as I could have been friends. Um, Bobby and I could have been friends. Um, Longtime friends. If fail red jacket, that's top management. They ski in red jackets. That's what everybody called them. And I've said this before. They stopped Bobby from getting on a chairlift with me. And that's a fact. It was Bobby. I was there. I saw the guy in ski clothes. You don't always, I was there. It was Bobby. Anyways, Bobby can't pass a lie detector test saying that it wasn't him. I'm betting anything. So, I remind O'Keefe, tell me the world doesn't want to know um, this need to know truth. Okay? And Gore's letters. Gore has prevented all of these things. Gore, even though he's out getting headlines because he's endorsing um, Biden's laws, as they called it. That was going to be a different video, but yeah, because he's been preventing solutions the world really needs since absolutely 95, right here. He's been being asked since shortly after November 93, when the environmental educator started. And if you've been around here before, you've probably seen these. But this is his office in 2017. you know, um, I'm sorry we're unable to assist you with your request, and they wish me much success in my endeavors, but they just won't allow solutions. Yeah, they just absolutely will not allow solutions there. They tell me to consider taking action that can be of use as opposed to sending pointless emails to Al Gore, nonstop requesting that Al Gore stop preventing the light years best environmental education and agenda on the planet that would have ended the use of all of these toxic chemicals and would not be creating these headlines today. So, let's just take a brief look at these. Trump and J.D. Vance, they just really say that, um, you know, you Americans, of course, you are 20th class citizens in your own country, and this is just proving it. I'm paraphrasing it, but Charlie Kirk called it Biden's crusade on white people and claimed that American Democrat leaders hate working class whites. I mean, obviously they do. Americans, you are nothing in your own town. If this happened in another racial category, they'd all be there just supporting these people. So that was big headlines. And yeah, now they are, the Environmental Protection Agency orders rail company to pause shipments from site pending a review of plans to dispose waste near Houston and Detroit. Yeah. So they were just going to take this and transport it. Didn't we just prove that like transporting all this stuff isn't such a good idea? Duh. I could have told you that a long time ago. It's a statistical probability that these events are going to occur. And it is an absolute statistical probability that this right here is just an everyday event when we keep using all of these. Okay, but I'm assuming this is because the people of Houston and Detroit were up in arms. I have other headlines about that. um yeah. So yeah, hazardous waste disposal facilities near Houston and Detroit are planning to receive most of the contaminated water and soil from the wreck site, raising the risk that some of the dangerous chemicals could end up in the environment elsewhere. So, yeah, the people in those areas aren't too happy about that, but the EPA will ensure that all waste is disposed in a safe and lawful manner at EPA certified facilities to prevent further release of hazardous substance and impacts to communities. Well, the government said it. You got to believe it, right? They're so trustworthy. So the government, the EPA, I have, you don't get anywhere contacting these places, but it's not like over the years I have not contacted the EPA and said we can actually lead with real solutions and as uninterested as everyone else. But here is Erin Brockovich. She is out telling the town that this isn't her first rodeo. Um, yeah, that's, yeah, right here. This is not my first rodeo. You have to band together and to protect each other. There's really no protection of each other. That's a lot of shallow words, okay? They're in a toxic waste site. What does she mean? Hugging console each other while all of you start having more and more medical issues? I mean, there was a guy who, this was reported a few places. His voice now sounds like Mickey Mouse. Okay. And let me tell you that that is the least of what is happening to these people. But, yeah, she's just telling them that, you know, protect each other, band together. That is not doing a bit of good. She feels their angst, their frustration. Um, she's she said to them, "You'll be told that it's fine, that you're safe, but it's not fine. I've never seen anything like this in 30 years." But down here she says, "There's no quick fix or sweet answer. This is going to be a long game." Yeah, a long losing game for a lot of these people. There's not much really banding together. Now, as I said, right, the only email for her is a form letter. "Hey, Erin, you know, maybe we could use this to stop using all of these chemicals. You could use your voice." Like, yeah, my emails through her form letter are going to get to her, but unfortunately not. But here we are, right here. This is right here, February 24th, 2023. That researchers found PFAS chemicals used to make products resistant to heat and water in all samples of 12 species of fish. So this is everywhere. You know, I think I've done a video about this before, and these are just everywhere. Chemicals are thought to be polluting drinking water for more than 200 million people, and the study is the second this year to suggest widespread contamination of freshwater U.S. fish. Right, widespread contamination everywhere. So, you know, here's this article that these accidents, chemical accidents, are averaging one every 2 days. Um, Mathy, Mathy, Stanisleus, who served as assistant administrator of the EPA's Office of Land and Emergency Management during Mr. Bo's administration, told The Guardian that these kinds of hidden disasters happen far too frequently. They happen all the time. I quoted a guy in an article the other day. In the first 7 weeks of 2023 alone, there were more than 30 incidences recorded by the Coalition to Prevent Chemical Disasters, roughly one every day and a half. Last year, the coalition recorded 188, up from 177 in 2021. They've counted more than 470 incidents, so since they started counting in April of 2022. And here's those incidences. Map of reported chemical incidences in the U.S. from January 1st to December 31st of 2022. In September, for instance, 9 people were hospitalized and 300 evacuated in California after a spill of caustic material at a recycling facility. Um, it just, in Kansas here, last November, more than 100 residents were treated for respiratory problems, and schools were evacuated after an accident at a beverage manufacturing facility created a chemical cloud over the town. So these happen. Live in daily fear of an accident. Okay, it can happen anywhere. Driving behind these trucks on the highway that say hazardous. Okay, they're telling you, and we think nothing because they're not involved in an accident. But there are close to 12,000 facilities across the nation that have on-site extremely hazardous chemicals and amounts that could harm people, the environment, or or property if accidentally released, according to the Government Accountability Office last year. So these things happen everywhere. Here's the states with the most accidents from 2004 to 2020. And total costs are approximately 477 million. Okay, yeah, this Ohio event at fair market value. I told you the train company's trying to buy people off for $1,000. Like $1,000, sign here. That's it. You're maxed out. Okay, so and the Chamber of Commerce, who won't do anything environmentally, won't lead, won't put America first, won't have the Make Hemp happen, won't have us leading with reusable. I did a video about that. It has pushed back on stronger regulations, arguing that most facilities operate safely, accidents are declining, and that the facilities impacted by any rule change are supplying essential products and services that help drive our economy and provide jobs in communities. But that's not true because we could be doing that responsibly with hemp and not using all of these chemicals. And the EPA, they don't care about that at all. I mean the Chamber of Commerce, the EPA too. Nobody does. And that's right. Who else doesn't? Oh, that's right. Al Gore right here. And most importantly, Project Veritas and O'Keefe in his new venture, just like at his old adventure, and Bobby Kennedy will not lift a finger to let you know that there are actual solutions that are prevented by everybody to prevent all of these headlines and disasters. It doesn't matter if global warming's real or not. But, yep, even though Project Veritas and their workers put out a video about the staffers, okay? And again, what did they do? That's right, their video, they captioned it. They fraudulently told everybody, we expose everybody again, fraudulently, like they've been doing for years. And they absolutely won't. Project Veritas will not get on your side and get this mess cleaned up. So stay tuned, people.